Hi YouTube. Today I'm going to start my first episode of Pimp My Lift with myself. I want to show you guys what I think about when I am performing my squat session, from the very first warm-up set, which is going to be empty bar, up until my top set, and the things that I consider with my accessory work and how I determine the exercises that I do in my program. So without further ado, let's check it out. This is me on my first set with the barbell. Before I've done this, I've done a whole bunch of core activation series. I could have had that in the video, but decided not to because I don't want to make it too boring for you. And this is me. I did 8 reps here, I think, from memory. Watch how I'm moving. I'm kind of like crunching in half. I'm falling forward a lot. I'm quite tight. Is that a bad thing? You'll see as I get a little bit more weight on the bar, I become more upright. That next set was 80 kilograms. Now we've got 105 kilograms on here. So far, I'm doing all of the right things. I'm looking straight ahead. I'm initiating the movement by pushing my knees out. That's 130 kilograms side view. Looks like I'm folding in half a lot on the side view. I look at my squats usually from the front view. If I was to change that, I would work on being a little bit more upright. 180 kilograms with knee wraps. The knee wraps force me to be more upright because it gives me something to push my knees into. The more the knees come forward, the more upright the torso can be. And that's what my goal is, 205 kilograms. Everything's looking good. This is my soft knee wraps. I started wrapping at 180 kilograms. I've got young Anne. She's wrapping my knees 3 up. That's the 3rd revolution. 4 revolutions up. This is a very soft wrap. So it doesn't matter how tight she's going. She's not going as tight as she can. That's 6 revolutions. That's the X over the patella. 7, and I believe she goes, well, let's see, 7. 8 revolutions. Does she tie off here? Yes, she does. So that's 8 revolutions. Technically, that's a pretty tight wrap, but it's a very soft knee wrap quality. And that's what I like to do for my first sets. I believe I did this up to 230 kilograms was my last set. So check that out. With the knee wraps on with 230 kilograms, that was a little bit more of an upright position than what you saw before on my last side view. And the knee wraps allow me to do that. When you add knee wraps, well, with the experience on the knee wraps, the body kind of just knows what to do to use them, which is push the knees forward, be more upright. 255 kilograms. If you notice, I've got the stiffer wraps on at this point, 280 kilograms. Look how I'm going slow on the way down and fast on the way up. What I'm working towards here is precision. Precision with landing in the hole in the perfect position. This is 305 kilograms. Intensity's heating up now. We've got all of the boys and girls around me helping me. We've got Sunny in the background recording. We've got Alex the God Simon spotting me from behind. That makes it that makes me a lot more confident to have good spotters around. Now this is my top set. This is James. He wrapped my last 2 sets. I get him to save his hands. That's why I've got Annie wrapping me on my warm-up sets and he's wrapping me. Have a look at the difference between their technique. Look how hard he's doing it. He's going as tight as he can. So right now I look kind of calm. I'm not really feeling any pain. I'm used to wrapping my knees this tight. My recommendation is not to go this tight, especially if you're learning how to use the wraps. That's 10 revolutions. These are Pioneer Eric Lillibridge wraps or Lillibridge wraps. This is 330 kilograms. We've got my top set. We've got 2 guys on the side to spot, and we've got Alex behind me. What am I focusing on? I'm looking straight ahead. At this point, look at the eyeball bulge. I can't see too much, to be completely honest with you. Everything's a blur, but I'm pretty happy with how things are going. You'll notice that my knees kind of come in a little bit, and that's a postural deviation. It's not so much that I have to say that's just wrong. I have to end the set there. Like I'm still taking that. I'm happy with that. As it gets heavy, this was always going to be my top set for the day. I came in wanting to achieve 330 kilograms for 3 reps, and I got it. But I want to achieve it as good as possible, with technique as good as possible. Although that wasn't perfect technique, I'm very happy with how everything went. My focus was to open the hips, push the knees out. And the way that I achieved that is by taking my time with the warm-up sets. And what I'm doing is focusing on coming down nice and slow. That's an error that a lot of people make, is on the warm-up sets, it's a lightweight, so they can easily just bang it out. That's not what I'm trying to do. If you paid attention to each set, it was nice and slow on the way down. It was very much the same speed. And that's what I teach people, is to think about your top set. How fast are you going to go down on your top set? That's how fast you should be going down on each and every one of your warm-up sets. So I'd like to think that that's the same tempo that I used on my 330 kilograms. Difference being, it was damn heavy. And at this point, I just wasn't coming up as fast. I was trying to, though. And I do believe that, considering the weight, it was a really good speed on the way up. I'm really happy with it. I don't know, I wouldn't call that a personal best, but I'm 15 weeks out from competition. And I'm pretty happy with the position that I'm in. This is the strongest that I've been this far out from competition. At the same time, we don't just continue to increase in a linear fashion. So I know something's going to give at some point. So now I've got 15 weeks to slow it down. My last competition, I squatted 375 kilograms. And my goal is to beat that this year. Last time I did that, I was 7 weeks out with this same rep set scheme with 330 kilograms. So 7 weeks out, I did 330 for a triple. Now I'm 15 weeks out with the same weight. So I've got an extra 8 weeks up my sleeves. It doesn't mean I'm going to keep on pushing hard. It means I'm going to back down a little bit, slow myself down, and get there a little bit smarter, a little bit safer. Every week that I try and progress from here, it increases the risk of injury. It's heavy weights. I'm currently 107 kilograms. So now what I've got to do is think about how I'm going to include my accessory exercises. So have a look here. This is me moving towards my accessories. Supplementary squats. This is done in the afternoon. So session 1 is done in the morning. After I've done my 330 kilogram for 3 reps, I'm pretty beat up. It seems a bit strange that it's only 1 set, but I use a lot of time and effort warming up to that 1 set, and it's a huge adrenaline dump. After I finish that 1 top set, the excitement, I'm kind of done. So I left it there, went and had a feed, had some lunch, and came back in session 2 and did my accessory movements. So this is me, my accessory movements here. This is high bar pause tempo squats. So it's 180 kilograms. This is my working weight. I do 3 sets of 5 here. The reason why I use a high bar, so something else you notice, I'm using knee sleeves instead of knee wraps. And I'm not using a belt. So what I'm doing, this is the way that I consider my accessory movements. I think of ranges of motion and muscles that I've neglected in my main work, and I focus on that in the supplementary movement. So the range of motion that I've neglected is that deep knee bend. The low bar squat with wraps is a hip dominant style of movement, and the knee wraps take the quads out of the equation. So taking the knee wraps, and I've got knee sleeves, I need to protect my knees to keep my knees warm. So protecting my knees with sleeves only, I still need to use my quads a lot. This is the high bar squat is a very quad dominant movement. So this is a side view. I'm focusing on being as upright as possible. So A, I want to be upright to develop quads. That's what I've neglected in my main work. And B, I want a high bar squat variation to teach my body how to stay really, really upright under load, which is very much what I'm thinking about in my competition style of squat. That's the second set. Now we go to the third set. Have a look at my hands. I'm kind of collar to collar. I'm at the end of the bar, but I'm pulling my elbows back and shoulder blades down. That's how I engage my upper back. On the way down, I focus on opening my hips, giving my pelvis room to sit in the bottom. This is an ass to grass squat. I'm getting full knee bend here so I can maximize my quadriceps in this movement. The more the knee bends, the more you use the quadriceps. Looking straight ahead. That's very much how I want to be. This is a really great addition to my squat game, as well as anyone else who wants to do powerlifting and squats with a low bar squat, especially with knee wraps. My main work is a hip dominant movement. It's a low bar squat with a hip dominant movement. So the things that I've neglected, I've used a lot of equipment. I've used a belt. So I want to strengthen my unbelted work. So I want to strengthen my core without a belt. In my main work, I've used knee wraps. I want to strengthen my knee extensors, which is my quadriceps, without knee wraps on my supplementary work. So that's why I've got the sleeves only here. Have a look at the footwear. I've got elevated heel weightlifting shoe as well. That's also going to allow me to be more upright, which is the position that I want to be in to build quads to the best of my ability. So that's my squats for the day. Total volume was really not much. 330 kilograms for one set of 3 with wraps. Secondary movements was done in the afternoon, so I like to give myself about 3 to 4 hours break if I do 2 sessions. Not many people have the luxury of being able to do that. I'm very lucky that I've got, this is my gym behind me, I'm very lucky that I've got my own space here, and this is where I work every day. So not everyone has that luxury, in which case I would tell them to do the accessory work straight after the top sets. Which way is better? I prefer my way because it allows me to come back with a lot more energy to perform my accessory exercises better, to put it simply. So that's my session. I hope you enjoyed the first episode of Pimp My Lifts. It's hard to say if I really pimped it. I'm always pimping my own lifts. I'm always working on perfecting my movement. Although I said my 330 triple wasn't perfect, I know what I need to do. My knees were coming in a little bit. I was folding forward a little bit. This is why I use the same accessory exercises that I use for myself and that I prescribe for others. Focusing on pushing my knees out, focusing on being more upright, and strengthening the muscles that I neglected in the main work. That's a rule that applies for all of my training sessions, even upper body. So if I do a main exercise as my primary lift, that's what I'm focusing on with my accessory movements or my supplementary exercise, however you want to call it. And that's all. So I hope you guys enjoyed session 1 of Pimp My Lifts. I'm going to do my best to get some of the best athletes in my team to do some more Pimp My Lift series for you guys, so that you guys can learn a little bit about how I coach my movements and the reasoning behind why I prescribe all of the various exercises that I do prescribe. Hope you guys enjoyed. Click like, subscribe, and comment below if you guys want to see me focusing on any lift in particular or any athlete in particular, and we will make it happen. Hope you guys enjoyed it.